The showcase was actually really surprising. It worked out much better than I was expecting. It was, so we did a series of monologues in the second half. Everybody had their own monologue that they had picked. We've been working on them since October. And then the first half, we did this kind of improvised movement that we've been working on all year with our movement instructor, Linda. And it was a lot of fun. It worked out really well. There was lots of craziness. It felt really relaxed. It was a really comfortable setting. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it did. It gave us a sense of how it feels, because a lot of Cloud 9, a lot of the characters have like monologue things. The second half is originally all monologues, and just a sense of being alone on stage and trying to draw focus. We also focus a lot on trying to get the people who are watching, because the entire company was on stage for the entire showcase, and everybody else was focused on trying to be a listener, a good listener, which is like such a valuable skill that it doesn't really get talked about a lot. Yeah, so I think it did prepare us a lot. And for our auditions as well, a lot of us used our monologues for auditions for schools, so yeah, they're really helpful. It was pretty good. We went in there, we had picked a monologue that we thought was best suited for the part we were auditioning for. And we went in there, we did our monologue for Dave, the director, and Shannon, our acting teacher. And we did it for them, and I guess some people got comments on it, some feedback, or were asked to do it a different way. And then some talked about like why you thought that would work for your character and what aspects of it, so they could see how great your understanding was of the character. And then we just did scenes, we did sides, everybody got sides, and we're partnered up for the rest of the night. So it was more like an acting class than really an audition. And it's just a show about sexual liberation and the whole idea of who are you, how does your gender shape your identity, as well as the idea of oppression. The first half takes place in colonial Africa, and it's this like very high-class British family dealing with their black servant who's actually played by a white guy, and then the second half is only 25 years later for the characters, but it's 100 years later. It's London, 1980s, and it's again all the rules change again. So it's a romp. It's a lot of work to delve into, so I'm really excited. Yeah, in the first act, I'm playing Edward, a 9-year-old gay boy, and I don't even know where to start with that. I've never played a character that is a child before, let alone a male child. He is really, he's really struggling with what his father wants him to be. His father wants him to be a man's man. His father wants him to conform and be good for England, but he wants to play with the doll. He wants to be with his Uncle Harry. He doesn't want to see people getting whipped. He's a really sensitive boy. And then in the second act, I play this kind of frustrated lesbian Lynn, who is intent on, she is raising her daughter, Kathy, who is originally played by a man, but in our production played by a woman. And she is trying to also convince her female friend to move in with her and give up her husband and her traditional heterosexual. So it's a lot of stuff to play with, stuff that I've never done before. It's not lovesick girls, it's interesting, really deep characters. I've been watching videos of the Queen speaking all weekend. We're learning accents that we've been focusing on right now, and so we're doing accent work, and I've been doing research into colonial life in Britain and the rules imposed on them, as well as the sexual liberation movement that kind of began in the mid-60s and was, I think, in full swing in London in the 1980s. Just in trying to figure out where these people come from. It's not anything, it's hard to, I don't connect with them as much, these two people, so it's yeah, it's a lot of research and thinking, and we're very early on the research process right now. So
I'm most excited about
Oh, I don't know, all of it. Being a boy, I don't know how we're gonna do that. I don't know how we're gonna tackle the orgy scene in the second act. All of it is so exciting. It's so unlike anything I've done before. I think I'm probably most nervous about the dialects. I'm not very good at accents. We've been working with them, with Shannon, our vocal coach, and she's worked with them for 3.5 hours on Wednesday. So I think those will be really put into play. Hopefully they'll fall into place by June. I'm sure they will.